For tired business owners, here's how to access 3 types of energy for peak energy and performance. If you are exhausted, here is where you should focus. So the number one thing, I've talked about all different things on this podcast, but I want to kind of bring them together to talk about 3 sources of energy that will give us so much energy that it never runs out. Okay, it may sound too good to be true, but it's absolutely not. This is how we are designed. Okay, the first place is physical energy. This is where people spend most of their time. So we're looking at mitochondrial energy, which I talked about in the last podcast. We're looking at energy from our nutrition. We're looking at adrenal energy as well, okay? And so mitochondria is like an energy powerhouse, okay? It produces tons of energy for our body. And the more we do, the more our body creates mitochondria and the more energy we create. And so unless there's been a breakdown to the mitochondria due to excess stress, again, I talked about that in the last podcast, and that means, you'll be feeling tired all the time. And it may seem like you've got too much going on, but actually your internal reserves are very low and the ability for your body to produce energy is kind of not working as well. And so therefore you're getting more tired doing your current tasks. So most business owners are accustomed to feeling high levels of stress. And so stress really creates mitochondrial dysfunction. And so I find with business owners, they don't really notice that they're high stress, but they notice the days when it's really bad. Okay, but most days they're operating under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress and a lot of mental noise and a lot of urgency and a lot of fear and worry. But it's only on the days that it gets really, really bad, that their stress levels are really high, that they notice that they're stressed. Okay, and so when we're looking at physical energy, so often I'll ask people, how often do you wake up with the energy to exercise, that you can get out of bed and go, great, I could go do a workout now? And if it's not very often, then this is something that you want to look at. How often do you sleep well at night? Are you going to bed by 9:30, 10 p.m.? Are you sleeping right through and waking up feeling refreshed? Does your energy last all day long, or do you feel a 3 p.m. crash where your productivity just tanks, right? And you're really tired and maybe you're going for sugar or caffeine to keep you going. So for physical energy, there's a lot that we can do. Healthy diet, regular meals, avoiding the foods and habits that increase the cortisol, affecting the mitochondria and reducing its function, and having more sleep and more recovery, and that way improving that physical energy. But if we only focus here, we're not going to get back to operating on 12 cylinders, right? In order to operate at your best and at your highest level with that kind of untapped, unlimited energy that is always self-replenishing, looking at physical energy is only one part. The next part, or number 2 type of energy, is mental and emotional energy. So how focused are you during the day? Can you work on a complex task until it's finished? It could take hours without distraction, right? Can you do the deep work, or are you doing shallow work? Are you doing admin kind of stuff? You're doing one thing, you're jumping to another, you're picking up your phone, you're answering email, answering text message, answering something from your team. Whatever it is, that's shallow work, right? How many hours a day can you spend in deep work? What is your capacity to deal with challenges? When something goes wrong in the business, do you have a meltdown? Do you catastrophize? Do you feel irritable or moody? Do you snap at people, your family, your partner, your colleagues, people that work for you, right? So this is all kind of pointing to your capacity, mental and emotional capacity. When something goes wrong in your business, do you feel like it just completely just knocks you down, right? That it takes you maybe the whole day, it wipes out your day, or maybe it wipes out 2 days. You feel tired, you just feel drained, like you're just like, I'm so over this, I can't handle it. Or do you feel like it only lasts about an hour or 2 and you bounce back and you're ready to go again? Okay, so that really, again, points to mental and emotional energy. So when we've been under high levels of stress, and often what I see with my clients is that the speed at which their mind works in terms of the chatter is so fast for so long that it burns through a lot of the neurotransmitters that help to keep our brain calm and focused and rational, and ability to handle challenges and stress. That all gets kind of burnt off. And so we have less capacity to deal with things. We become more reactive, and it takes longer to bounce back. And so there are many things that we can do there to improve this kind of mental and emotional energy. If we're looking at focus, there is nutrients that we can use to improve mental focus. Something like balancing your blood glucose levels makes a huge difference to mental energy and how you can handle things that come your way. And so you won't, so much get a slump in the afternoon, but you won't get as much anxiety or overwhelm either. less time on your devices, okay? Just that distraction and the blue light and the dopamine hit is so addictive. It's so draining on the brain, and it just zaps your focus and zaps those neurotransmitters. If you're not getting proper sleep, so when we go to sleep at nighttime, we have an emotional reset. And so if you're not getting enough deep sleep, you're just not getting that, okay? And so you're waking up, and instead of feeling your mind is cleared, you're waking up and you're still carrying stuff from the next day, right? It hasn't been cleared out. And, the number one thing is to reduce the mental noise or the mental stress, which, again, a lot of my clients, most will notice, some won't, but they'll notice at the times it gets really bad again. So often, when I talk to clients, I really kind of try to understand what level of mental stress that they have, because I know that is absolutely going to take that part of the brain offline where we can be super productive and super creative and rational and deal with problems and do the deep work, right? So that's a really important part. The third type of energy, which is unlimited, and you don't have to really do anything we just got to remove the blocks for it, is spiritual energy, which is life force. Life force is life. It's energy from life, and it fuels us, and it's unlimited and it never runs out. So this is something that I personally had to refocus on at the end of last year. I found like physical energy, fine, mental and emotional. That's where I spent a lot of my time, like just making sure, getting rid of the mental stress or, dealing with things in better ways. But my spiritual energy, or the life force from my work, was diminished. Running a business, there is things in your business that you do that have to be done that you don't really love, and it's not very energizing for you, but you've got to do them, right? And maybe it's something that only you can do. And I found that there was so many things like that. And I wasn't doing the things that really energized me. I wasn't doing the things that enhanced my life force. Teaching, coaching, webinars, things where I'm really kind of doing the workshops with groups, that kind of stuff. I love, and it really energizes me and connects me with people, which is very energizing. I was doing more of the behind the scenes and the admin and the team and managing things that was draining my life force. Okay, so you will have things in your business that, there'll be some things that you can outsource, some things that you'll have to keep, but you really want to make sure that when you're looking at all your tasks over the week, what are the things that actually enhance your life force, that spiritual energy that really fuels the body, okay, that never runs out? How much of that are you having during the week? And when I talk about life force energy, I'm talking about when you do something, you just feel a total buzz after it. Okay, so when I come off a webinar or a workshop, I am completely buzzed. I love it. I make them go too long because I love chatting with people and answering questions and coaching and teaching. So that gives me a total buzz. So there are things that you love that maybe you're not doing as much because you're doing all of the other work that is diminishing your life force. And that's what I was doing, right? I wasn't doing the things that I love because I didn't have the capacity. And I realized that in order to get that capacity back, I needed to do the things that enhance my life force. And so another tip is, I just learned this the other day, which obviously is so obvious, but anyway, I obviously had to hear it from somebody else, that the things that don't light you up or don't enhance your life force, the things that you're not world class at, those are the things that you find somebody else to do. And when you're looking for new team, you want to find out what are the things that enhance their life force? What are the things that they totally get a buzz out of? Because they're going to be so good at that task, and then you don't have to do it anymore, right? So I thought that was a cool little tip. So 3 types of energy to really break free from tiredness. Don't look at your schedule being the thing that's making you tired. Most often, it's our physical health. It's draining our energy. It's our mental and emotional. So not even our workload, but everything that's going on in here. And the third thing is we haven't structured our schedule to include those things which enhance our life force. Okay, so we want to look at physical energy, we want to look at mental and emotional energy, and we want to look at spiritual energy. So let me know if you can see the comments below which one you need to focus on first.